Hey, what's going on, guys? Limitless coming back at you with another Titanfall 2 gameplay. This time I decided to do some Ronin gameplay specifically. The last video I had talked about some of the Titans, and I had mentioned that the Ronin I feel like is probably the weakest of the bunch. And I've seen a couple of really good Ronin players in Last Titan Standing and Attrition and Bounty Hunt where they just don't seem to die. They get a ton of executions, and he looked a lot of fun to play. I didn't have too much practice with him, so yesterday I wanted to kind of play around with him for most of the day and see if I can get any good gameplays. And it turns out once you kind of get a feel for his movement and how you should be using him generally, you can actually pull off some pretty good gameplay. The thing with the Ronin is he is the weakest of the bunch. He doesn't have as much health. I believe it's exactly similar to the North Star, where he only has 3 bars. But his movement is really good and ideal. The setup I run is I run an extra arc wave, so I can do 2 in a row, which is his little slice attack up in the air that sends out an electric shock across the ground. I do 2 of those because that's between that and a shotgun. I feel like that's the most damaging. The sword melee is decent enough, but you can't always get in close to other Titans at all times. Most of the time, they're going to be trying to scatter away from the Ronin and then hit you from afar. So that's another reason why I also started running an extra dash on him, so I have 3 dashes total, as well as my phase shift attack, which turns you invisible for a second and allows you to further increase your speed for a brief second. And it's really good for either getting behind an enemy. You either dash up to an enemy and then use phase shift behind him, so you'll come up behind him, turn around, and start shotgunning him. And that's what I was trying to get done with him. There's a couple of gameplays, I don't know if anyone else has realized this issue, and they haven't patched it yet, where if the Ronin phase shifts directly inside the enemy Titan, then you instantly die. Doesn't matter what you do, nothing drops down from the sky to kill you. Literally, if you phase shift into another Titan, you immediately die. So that's kind of a downfall of it until they patch it, because I've done it yesterday when I was practicing with the Ronin. I did it probably a good 2 to 3 times, just trying to get out of a hairy situation and going behind, 2 or 3 Titans that were spotted me, and I would phase shift into a Scorch or a Legion because they're so big-bodied, and I would instantly die. So that's the downfall of using the phase shift. But the good thing about the Ronin is that I found is, again, you get your Titan up really quick with him. Normally you'll get it before any other player if you're doing decent. There are situations where someone else is doing really good and they'll get their Titan before yours, but for the most part you'll get your Ronin before everyone else, which allows you to clear the battlefield really well. So if you have a problem with the grunts, especially starting to get a little too many and you want to overrun them, then it's perfect. You just dash around and sword melee everything. Same goes with the pilots. If you guys aren't running the pilot versus pilot battle, the Ronin's really good at just kind of picking them off one by one. That's another reason why I run the 3rd melee dash, because you can get to the pilots with these. I mean, they can't run faster than your Titan. So you just run over to them and sword slash them. It's simple as that. And since you're having your Titan before everyone else, generally you're going to be able to get quite a bit of pickoffs and delay them getting their own Titans. For it becomes a 3 to 4 v5 Titan on Titan battle, and game was like Attrition and Bounty Hunt and Amped Hardpoint. So that's the one really good thing I found about the Ronin. If you can get them early and get those early picks, it really delays the enemy team. Now as far as the Titans go, his Titan v Titan battles are they can get a little sticky at times, because if you got someone in the other Titan who knows what they're doing, they're probably going to get more damage on you before you can get with them. So as you can see right here, me engaged with this Legion, I of course get him from behind. Legion does not want to turn around to face you, because it takes him such a long time to set up, pull his gun down, aim it, and then be able to start firing at you, and by that time you can circle around him with the Ronin. And same thing with the North Star. North Stars have similar movement, and the fact that they can also, I believe, have 3 dashes if you do the extra dash, so they can also tether you, which will put you in a bad spot. But you can phase shift out of that. As far as the other Titans, Scorch is kind of easy to flank because he's so big body and he only fires 1 shot at a time, so if you can dodge his fire attacks, for the most part, you should have him. Now, if you get too close to him, he can use his flame shield, and it will completely destroy your health. Not much you can do about that. That's when you got to get out of that distance and put a little bit in between you and Scorch, and start firing the shotgun and the arc wave. As far as the Tone's probably your worst enemy because, as I was saying in the last video, Tone's pretty overpowered right now. And even if you have your sword block up, when he hits you with his regular attack, he'll still be able to get that lock on you. So you have to keep up your sword again for his barrage of rockets, and that'll still chip away at your health. But as far as the Titan gameplay, he's not bad. If you have a decent team who's able to distract the other Titans, your runner will get in there, get behind them, and slay everything. You'll get these executions like nobody's business. So right here, I mean, he had almost a half health. War shotgun blast, arc wave attack, boom, execution. Simple as that. Again, the Legion's very slow, so he probably didn't know what was going on at the time. By the time he turned, he got executed. It'll be the same thing for every other Titan you engage. You just want to get in, and if they notice you, get out of there. You got phase shift as an escape route. Another good thing about him is when you're playing these objective game modes, is the fact that he can clear out Spectres and increments very quickly, just going around, throwing your sword around, and you'll get points like crazy. Now, when you don't have your Titan, if you guys are looking to get your Ronin a little bit more, another tip and trick, if you guys haven't heard or even tried it before, is if you get another Titan's battery, if you take an enemy Titan's battery, you get 60%. Oh, by the way, what's going on here is that I knew he was my teammate, but I was starting to slash because I got stuck on him and he wouldn't move as I was trying to back away from the nuclear explosion. And then same thing with that Reaper. I started slashing at him because I was getting a little irritated because I couldn't go over to the left and go in for that Titan execution. So it was a little irritating, but I mean, it wasn't their fault. As I was saying, you can get a lot done with the Ronin, man. And if you want to get them a lot quicker, just jump on enemy Titans behind, grab their battery, and you get 60% of your charge. Also, another little tip and trick for this video: if the enemy team is escaping through their ship, you can actually jump inside, as I'm doing right here, and you can do damage from inside. It doesn't matter because you can do damage on the outside as well, but it's just kind of funny, especially if they got enemy pilots inside. And you can't do damage to them, unfortunately, but you can shoot your gun and kind of play around with them where they don't know what's going on. And they'll turn to the left, and they will see you inside the ship. They can still kill you now, so you gotta be careful of that. But it's just kind of funny to see the entire enemy team in there and then destroy the ship, and you fall out of the ship while they all die. Second map is Crash Site. Ronin's actually pretty good on here as well. For the most part, the way people play this map specifically is this little hilltop right here where it goes to the right and goes down to the ship. For the most part, until everyone gets their Titans, the enemy team and your team's going to play for positioning on the hilltop. So when you get that Ronin, man, it completely throws off the entire position. You can just flank around, or you can just even go right up that hill and just start taking out the pilots to reset their spawn. Because I personally find that a battle to be a little bit annoying, because you spawn, if you're at the bottom of the hill, you spawn inside the ship, and then you have to either work your way up the hill trying to take out enemy pilots, whereas they spawn at the top, so it's a constant just back and forth battle. Or you can try to get the flank. The flank works every once in a while. I think at this game, I didn't show it because I'm trying to showcase the Ronin and how strong his melee and pilot kills are. I got around for the flank. I got a quad kill as they were at the top of the hill. Then I died, but it did reset their spawn. Again, the Ronin on this map is pretty good. It's not his best map because it's not as open field like Homestead was in the last game. This one's more corridor-like, so something like a Scourge or a Tone, they'll do a lot of work on you on these maps because there's not really a lot of maneuverability. At the same time, the pilots don't have a lot of maneuverability either, because if they're trying to escape from you, they're either going to have to try to wall run across to another wall, to another wall, to another hallway, and by that time you'll still be able to catch them with your sword. This game was a little hectic for using the Ronin because this back cove over here, I didn't realize this. There's actually an actual cave that goes along that right side of the wall that you can go back up there behind that Titan, and they can just hide and camp up there. And because we made a comeback and we were kind of destroying all their Titans, they decided to just camp up there. I remember, I think it was this battle right here, I tried to get out of my Titan. As you can see, there's like 3 of them back there. I tried to get out of my Titan and take them, and I got like 2 or 3 of them, but then they just all ran back to that same spot. And you'll get groups like that, especially if they can't really do anything against you and your Titans. You'll get a lot of people that'll just kind of camp their spawn. It's not as bad as something like COD. It's not even close to COD camping, because there's still a lot of things you can do to get campers out of certain positions in this game, and they're really good at the respawns in this game. to where they will switch them. If you start overloading the area, they will switch to spawns. So that's a really good thing to keep in mind. You don't have to worry about camping too much. It was just a little bit of a tougher time for the Ronin to get all the pilot kills that I wanted to. And same thing with the Titan kills, because when they all got their Titans, they all did the same thing. They hurdled those Titans right in that little corner, so it was a little hard for the Ronin to get in behind them. You know what I mean? But this is coming to a close for this gameplay. I think last game I had like 25 kills and, you know, like 6 kills. This game I did okay. I think I had like 140, 150 points, maybe less. I'm not entirely sure. But this is decent Ronin gameplay. In case you guys are wondering how well he can be used, this definitely showcases it pretty well. Again, you need to focus on his maneuverability, his movement. Same thing with the North Star. Just get in and get out. If you got a clear sight on one Titan, engage him 1v1, just go for it. Sometimes you will get beat. That's just the name of the game, but you get your Ronin so quick that it won't matter. But yeah, that's it for this gameplay. If you guys have any questions, or you guys have any suggestions as far as what kind of gameplay you want to see next, just let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to probably do more Titan gameplays, just to kind of go over more of the Titans and their abilities and how well they fare in certain game modes. So this is it for the Ronin one, and tomorrow I might upload something with Scourge or Tone, just to give you a better feel for either one of those two. Other than that, please like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed the video. I'm trying my best just to get you guys some decent gameplay for you guys to watch, and then if you guys like it, let me know so I can keep uploading more. But thanks guys, you guys have a good rest of your day.